Creating Teams meetings for your course. Create your team in Canvas. Create channels for your workshops. Create the Teams meetings in Canvas. In Teams, set options and then activate your team. The first step in our process for creating Teams meetings for our course is to start in Canvas. Before we start creating our team, I wanted to show you the difference between these two links in your course site, Microsoft Teams Classes and Microsoft Teams Meetings. Microsoft Teams Classes provides a link to the team for you and your students. Microsoft Teams Meetings shows a list of the scheduled meetings that are coming up, and from here you and your students can join a meeting. If you created the meetings, you can also edit the meetings, and there are some other options here as well. Let's start by creating the course team. To do this, you go to the very bottom of the course menu into Settings. Across the top here, you have different tabs, and the last tab is Integrations. Then you toggle the state on. This opens a little bit of information, including the Sync Now button. You click Sync Now, and this will add all people who are enrolled in the course site as teachers. They will be added to the team as owners. Your students won't be added yet though. Now when we go to Microsoft Teams Classes, we can see that the link has been created. We also have a message on the tile here that says the class isn't activated. This means that students haven't been added to the team yet. The next step in our process is to create channels that are associated with our online workshops. We can open the team from here in the Canvas course site. Here in Teams, you can see we have these elements at the top above our channels, and then just the general channel. So now we create a channel for each online workshop or online lecture. We go to the three dots to the right of the title of the team and then choose Add Channel. Your channels are added alphabetically, so you might like to number them if you'd like them to appear in the order of the days of the week. Here you can see we've created 3 new channels, one for Monday workshops, Wednesday workshops, and Thursday workshops. Now we need to go back into Canvas to create the meetings themselves. We do this in Canvas as it creates a list of the scheduled meetings here in the Canvas course site. It can take anywhere from 10 minutes to 30 minutes for the channels to be recognized here in your course site. I'll show you what I mean. To create our meetings, we go into Microsoft Teams Meetings in our course menu, and we can click either the Add New Meeting button or the Schedule a Meeting link in the middle of the screen. We should include the course code as the first element in the title of the meeting. This helps identify the meeting in our calendars and in our students' calendars. Then we would identify whether it's a Monday workshop and so on. We're going to create these as a series of meetings, so don't put week 1 or week 2 and so on in the title. The next field is for adding required attendees. Now here, it's important that we add people who are going to possibly be teaching the classes or will definitely be teaching the classes. And a later step, will assign the role of co-organisers to these people. We need to specifically invite them in this field, even if they are owners of the team. The next set of fields are around the day and the time, so set this for the date and time for the first of the series that you're creating. The next field is where you can create the series. Here, choose weekly and add the end date, that is the last week of classes. The next field is really important. This is where you click and you associate this meeting with the team and one of the channels that you have just created. So when I click Add Channel, I'm shown a list of all of the teams that I'm an owner of, and then if I choose the first team, usually the new team appears at the top of our list, and then I can see the channels that I've just created. So I want my Monday workshop, and I can see that I haven't chosen the right time. You'll notice that I skipped Add Entire Class. Don't click Add Entire Class. This adds the enrollment as of today, but it doesn't add future enrollment. So you end up with potentially people who cannot join your meetings if you use that link. Using the Add Channel method means that our enrollment in the course site is synced with our team's membership, and therefore all students can access all of the meetings that we create, as well as all of the recordings of those meetings. We don't need to add a location. The next field can be quite useful to us, particularly if you have a course where you've got on-campus tutorials as well as online tutorials. Your on-campus students will be included in the invitation that is created with each meeting. So you need to provide instructions here for all students on what to do when they receive these invitations. All students in your course will receive an invitation even though the team isn't activated yet. So these instructions are quite important. You can see that I've added some instructions, so online students should accept the invitations for their class, their specific class. Gold Coast of Nathan students should decline this invitation, and we've asked students not to reply to the invitation using reply all, as the message will go to all other students. You can then copy this text and use this text in your subsequent invitations. So now we can choose Send, and you can see that our scheduled meetings are appearing in our Canvas course site. Here in our list of meetings, you and your students can join the meetings. You can also edit the meeting, and here via the three dots you can start a chat with participants. You can copy the link to that meeting, which is useful for inviting guests like sign language interpreters and external guests, and you can also cancel an occurrence or a series. So here, by cancelling an occurrence, that means you can cancel those sessions that won't be held due to student vacation and so on. You can also open meeting options from here. Here in Teams, in the channel for our Monday workshops, you can now see that the meeting has been created. We're now going to adjust some settings for the meeting to make things easier for us and for our students. The first thing we're going to do is adjust the request of responses from students. Here we see the big blue bar in the Teams channel that represents our meeting. We click on the bar and we can now see response options at the top of the screen. Open that little menu and uncheck Request Responses. This means that students won't be prompted to enter RSVP text when they accept or decline the email invitation. Click Send Update. If you do this quickly after creating the meetings themselves, students will only receive the one invitation. The second thing that we're going to adjust is we're going to remove this little option in the top right hand corner for students to create or start their own meeting. You will still be able to see that option, but by turning on what's called channel moderation, students won't come into this channel, miss this big blue bar, and potentially create and start their own meeting by using the little Meet button in the top right hand corner. So we're going to turn on channel moderation. We do that by putting our mouse over the title of the channel, choose the three dots, and then choose Manage Channel, and you can turn on moderation there. So change the off menu to on, and that's all you need to do. The default options can stay as they are, so do that for all of your meeting channels. The last option that you can set is to assign the role of co-organisers. To do that, you click again on the big blue bar representing the meeting. Here you go into Meeting Options. Meeting Options will open a window in the browser and you'll see a range of different settings here. And towards the top of the options is an option called Choose Co-Organisers. Now, co-organisers are able to start and manage breakout rooms in your meetings. They're also able to change people's roles and so on. They can download an attendance report during the meeting, but not after the meeting. Co-organisers can't change the date and time of the meeting, and they can't delete the meeting. Here you'll see I can search for participants to assign as co-organisers, or I can click the drop down and choose Rob's name there. So I must have invited the co-organisers specifically to my meeting. Then I scroll to the very bottom and click Save. The last step in the process is to activate your team. This means your students will be added and they'll be able to participate in the online meetings and access the recordings. To activate your team, come into the team itself and click the Activate button at the top of the screen. You will see a message once this team is activated. Your students will have access. This can't be undone. Your team is now active.